Good afternoon. I want to spend a few moments and just chat a bit about the estate taxes and who is actually exposed to this mysterious estate tax. Typically, we talk about an estate of a certain value that's calculated as of the date of death. And the IRS told us what dollar amount was exempt from the estate taxes. And it's just understand that it's a fairly onerous tax rate working up to 40% values of estates that are over this exemption amount. So in prior years, the exemption amount was much lower than it was present day. As recently as last year, in 2017, we talked about a roughly $5.5 million exemption, so that if your estate was valued at less than $5.5 million, you didn't have to worry about the estate taxes and being exposed to that. And married couples could prepare a more sophisticated type of trust. We typically call it an AB trust, where they could actually double that exemption. So in prior years, they could exempt up to $11 million roughly from the estate tax exposure. So now we had some tax changes leading into 2018. And now what's essentially happened is the exemption has been doubled. So now we have an exemption for a single individual of up to roughly just north of $11 million per person. For the married couple who prepare this more complex type of trust, the AB trust, we can exempt up to just north of $22 million, which is great. But some clients of mine who had prepared the married trust in the past, based upon the lower exemptions, and now we find that they're finding themselves with assets that are way under that exemption amount. They have assets less than $22 million now, and individual clients with much less than $11 million. So the question is, how does this really affect individuals when we are preparing their estate planning documents? Most notably, we talk about married couples who've prepared the AB trust. And with that type of a trust, if they've prepared an AB trust with the idea of avoiding that estate tax, now we have typically estates that are valued at much lower than the exemption amount for a married couple, which now goes up to $22 million. Oftentimes the estate shows values of less than $11 million. So if married clients are updating their trust at some point, we do have the opportunity to prepare a more streamlined, straightforward type of trust, not the complicated AB trust. And what that translates to is an easier trust administration process upon death. We can certainly provide for the married couple's beneficiaries in the same way as they have before. But upon the death of first spouse, what in the past involved a more complicated redistribution of trust assets and a retitling of trust assets with the outside world doesn't necessarily need to happen anymore if this married couple has assets valued at less than the $11 million threshold amount, and they want to streamline the administration process in the future, thinking ahead, planning ahead for after their death. So that is something to keep in mind for married couples. If they have their trust documentation in place, they have this more sophisticated type of trust called an AB trust, and they want to think ahead and plan ahead to make the trust administration process easier and more efficient for their successor trustees who they name in their trust by preparing and updating their trust to the more simple type of trust. That can work very well these days based upon the changes in the tax law. And I strongly encourage clients to contact me to better understand how that works and how to put that into place. Thank you.